Chicago, like most big cities, has its fair share of unsolved crime. And in most of these cases, somebody saw or heard something. Somebody may have seen a suspicious person, a car driving away from the scene, or simply overheard somebody talking about the case. With your help, we can put these criminals behind bars where they belong. Here in Chicago, we have too many unsolved murders. We need your help. In these cases, the police department is only as strong as the citizens that get involved. Oftentimes, all the detectives need is a tip, a start. Somebody to call in and say, I saw something. Any little information that you know can be the impetus to solve the entire case. On tonight's episode, we'll take a look at the case of Alex Mercado. On August 16, 2010, Alex Mercado, a fun-loving guy with a great sense of humor, was out with some friends, and they were driving to pick up some other friends. When they got to the friend's house, another car pulled up. There was some brief conversation, and then a gun was pointed out the window, and several shots were fired, striking 3 people, including Alex. Here's his story.
Alex was a young man who had a lot of friends, who enjoyed sports, football, basketball, funny, had a great personality, loved by all his friends, his family.
Real good baby, never selfish, very giving.
He was there for you if you needed him. He was just like the perfect person.
He had a spontaneous sense of humor where he can bring light to just about any situation. When one of his friends or myself, I would be down, he'd have a personality where he'd just come and be able to snuggle up with you and tell you something in your ear, just bring a whole new perspective to whatever you were going through.
He used to say that he was too compassionate also because he had a big heart. I remember one time we had a conversation, me, Alex, and his brother Angel, and Angel said that he didn't think he had enough compassion, and Alex was like, that's okay. It's like, I got enough compassion for both of us.
He just knew how to bring out the best in people, and that's what people saw when they were around Alex.
They were always showing up wherever he was at because he was such a good young man. He did everything for everybody. The best little boy that you will want as a friend in your life.
He was just like the perfect person. He was focused in school, he was good to his family, he was good to his parents, he listened, he was just so sweet, and it's just hard because someone so good like him just didn't deserve what he got.
On 16 August 2010, I responded to 2 people shot in the area of 4130 North Albany.
I had dropped him off the day before to his father's house, and when he got out of my car, he gave me a kiss goodbye, and he went inside.
We had spent the day at the Air and Water Show that whole day, that Sunday afternoon. Spent about 45 minutes that morning. We finally found a good spot to park it so we can go and enjoy the day.
And the next day, I texted Alex and I said, how was the Air and Water Show? And he was like, surprisingly, it was a lot of fun. I was like, oh, that's good. And I was like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, okay, Mom, I love you.
Later on that evening was when one of his friends invited him out.
Alex Mercado was with 2 other individuals in a vehicle. They were leaving a friend's house and they were going to pick up a family member on the 4100 block of North Albany. As they were parked in front of the house waiting for this family member to come outside, a vehicle approached from behind them. The driver pulled up alongside the vehicle, engaged them in brief conversation, and fired numerous shots into the vehicle, striking Alexander Mercado. After shooting into the vehicle, the offender sped off northbound on Albany. Albany is a one-way street going northbound, and it's approximately 4 blocks east of Kedzie, and the occurrence happened approximately a block and a half north of Irving Park Road. The driver of the vehicle was also struck in the neck, but he survived his injuries. And there was also a passenger in the rear of the vehicle that was also had a minor laceration.
For some reason, I usually sleep with my cell phone by my bed. I didn't that night. And my son had called my older son, Steven, to tell me, he's like, Mom, Alex was shot. You know, we need to get to the hospital.
I was at home in bed when I received the call that he had been shot and he was in the hospital. And I dressed as quickly as I possibly could to get to the emergency room. And when I got there, I tried to get prognosis of his well-being. And I knew when they, brought me into a private setting that things were not good.
We rushed to the hospital, and on the way there, I couldn't handle it anymore. I called his father, and I'm like, you need to tell me what's going on. And he's like, he's gone.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On August 16, 2010, Alexander was the passenger in a vehicle driven by his friend. They were going to pick up a family member in the 4100 block of North Albany. As they were parked in front of the house waiting for this family member to come outside, a vehicle approached from behind them. The driver pulled up alongside the vehicle, engaged them in brief conversation, and fired numerous shots into the vehicle, striking Alexander Mercado.
As a father, it's changed my life tremendously. You appreciate the time you do have with your children. I used to sacrifice time to go out and pursue my living to be able to provide a better lifestyle for him, but at the same time, I was neglecting the time that he needed me. There was a lot of things that I missed out that I would have liked to have been there for.
This happened during my junior year of high school, so for me, it just made it so much harder for me. And we were so close. When we were younger, we did everything together. All the pictures that I have of us, it was me and him, just me and him together everywhere, doing everything.
Ever since he's been gone, this pain in my heart, there's nothing that could fix it.
I didn't get a chance to tell him how much, how proud I was of him, how much I love him, what a good kid he was, and I know he would have been a great man. I wish I could have seen it.
After being assigned to this homicide investigation, I relocated to that area. I observed that the scene was protected with yellow crime scene tape and it was guarded by uniformed officers. This is the address of 4130 North Albany. As you can see, it's a one-way street going northbound. It's a residential area, single-family homes, and 2 flat and 3 flat apartment buildings. This is the area that Alex Mercado was seated in a vehicle that was pulled over at the curb. Alex is in the passenger seat, which is closer to the middle of the street. The offender came from the south, drove northbound on Albany, pulled up alongside the vehicle that Alex was in. The offender fired numerous shots. The casings were on the street here. After the shooting, the offender fled northbound down Albany.
I will beg if somebody knows to please help out in this case.
There's so many people hurting from this. His mother, his father. Think about the people you took him from.
If you ever experienced the loss in your family, you would know how we feel and you'd understand how important this is to us.
Even if you're sorry, who knows, maybe we'll forgive you at some point in time, but at least to give us some closure as to why he had to die.
He's an innocent baby, 16 years old, coming to stay at his grandmother's house with his brother. Him and nobody had no rights taking my baby's life away.
Alexander Mercado was a 16-year-old young man, did not deserve to be gunned down in the middle of the street. The Chicago Police Department is asking for any information regarding this homicide. The offender was described as being a male black in his late teens to early 20s. He had short curly hair and was light complected. The description of the vehicle was a dark colored four-door sedan type vehicle, smaller in size. There was also reports of a second vehicle that may have been following the shooter's vehicle, and that was described as a cream or beige colored vehicle. Both vehicles fled northbound on Albany after the shooting. Myself and the Chicago Police Department request anyone who has any information regarding the identity of the offender's vehicle, please contact me, Detective John Volkner, at the Chicago Police Department. The number is 312-744-8200. We're asking for anyone's help who can help us with this crime and give the family some closure and some justice for the individual that shot and killed Alexander Mercado.
The cases you just watched remain unsolved, and we need your help. If you have any information on tonight's episode or any other cases, please give our detectives a call. We need our communities to come together so we can take back our streets and make our neighborhoods a safer place.